InvestorAi Academy is, webinars that we do every Saturday at 12:30. Today's topic is extremely interesting. A lot of you, have been using our app. Many of you have been on, on the 2-week free trial that we have. And, one of your questions has always been, I'm getting a hang of it, but if you could tell us more about how to select a good stock, how do we make that decision? So today, Akshay is going to walk us through that. And, for all of you, again, I'm just going to do one round of quick introductions. We have, Akshaya Bhargava, who's here every Saturday. He's our chairman and founder. And the company is Bridgeweave Limited, but our app is InvestorAi, as you all know it. And we have Sarthak Behura, our head of products, who will also join in the session, while Akshay walks us through how to select a good stock. The chat is open. Keep your questions coming in, and look forward to having a very interesting next 30 minutes with you. Over to you, Akshay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shruti. Delighted to be here and welcome all of you. Today is our webinar number 21. So, we've been doing it for 21 weeks, and some of you have been to more than one, so welcome again. But some of you are coming for the first time. and I hope both the groups will find something to interest them and something to, and tell you a little bit more about what we do. And today, after the webinar, we have some really interesting announcements about new things that are coming, and I, would like to tell you about it once we conclude the official business of the day. So, welcome. Today's subject is finding good stocks. Now, it's not easy. You tell people ask me, how do I find good stocks? My first question is, what is a good stock for you? Because different people have different definitions. Some people think fundamentals is indicating good stock. Some people want leaders in a sector. Some people want hugely growing companies. Some people think good companies should have inspirational leadership. Some people think good stock should have low volatility. There are any number of definitions. And it is really a question of what appeals to you. So today, what I'm about to do, I'm going to explain to you how I think of good stocks. And then we'll take it from there. Of course, please post your questions on the chat forum, and we will answer them as they come. And at the end of the webinar, I will answer some of the other questions that remain. But before I do that, I thought I would invite our very own Shruti Bopia to come and tell us what she thinks is a good stock. And the reason why I think Shruti's comments will be very interesting to us is because she is not an investor from many, many years ago. She wasn't much into investments till she joined Bridgeweave. And it would be really interesting for all of us to hear how she has gone about thinking about good stocks and how does she invest. So Shruti, welcome in a different capacity. And I'd really like to understand how you think about investments, and then I'm going to ask you about how you select good stocks.
Thanks, Akshay. So every week, I've been learning, right? While I've been here in each of these sessions, I've been learning. But if I was to explain what my investment style really is I would say I used to be, let's put it that way, an extremely traditional, old school sort of investor. My portfolio was all about insurance and mutual funds and a few blue chip stocks, because that's just how it was. The interesting thing now is I think I've made that transition to what we call the new age investor, because now in my hands, and for somebody who I would say I really do two things. I don't think I have the kind of time to really go in, look at multiple platforms, do research, know exactly what to go, look at, read, every time you all say, let's look at technicals and let's look at, details of stocks. I don't think I have that kind of time. But what I have now is what InvestorAI at least does for me or for my investment style is that it's helped me discover stocks other than blue chip companies. It's helped me think about good stocks in a very different way. So for me, I would like to say that my investment style today is much more diversified. My portfolio is looking extremely different, and yeah, that's how I would put it.
So how do you go about finding a good stock using InvestorAI? Just tell us how you use the app.
So, Akshay, for me, the immediate ways that I look at is I've understood Alpha 330 in a way that helps me select my good stocks. I also like that it is a 30-day period for me to know what to do with it when an insight comes. So when I get an insight, I've learned that, okay, there's a signal high, is it low? When was the signal generated? I've just got 2-3 things that I actually look at. And then what I also do is I look at similar stocks within Alpha 330, and then I run a play. So I use play a lot, the feature play. And I feel that for somebody who has not spent so much time in stock markets, play really helps me have conversations with a lot of people, even get into conversations, right? Because it's in a quick snapshot telling me future outlook, consensus view, valuation, and helps me compare stocks. So that's how I choose my good stocks, Akshay. That's how I also use InvestorAI. So play is very important for me. Active monitoring. When I go into similar stocks and I see something that's actually interesting me more than the insight, I quickly go into monitor and start monitoring that stock. Then the wisdom of crowds that we have on our homepage, that definitely helps me think a little more. So I would say InvestorAI helps me discover stocks and helps me discover, helps me do things that maybe I would have taken a lot more years and time that I would have spent on to actually figure this out. But today I'm fairly confident to say that I think I get, what's happening in the stock market and have the confidence to take action on the insights that at least I get because of the accuracy that I can go and check immediately. So I would say for a lazy trader or investor that I am, that decision. Yeah.
So there are no lazy traders, Shruti. There are time rich and time poor investors. But final question, have you made money?
Of course, and that's why I love it. So okay. Let's say I was a buy and hold investor. I don't even want to put myself in that category anymore because I feel I'm not that type of an investor anymore. And am I making money? I look at returns slightly differently, Akshay. I don't look at it as every stock that I got an insight on, did that, make money? But I look at overall, when I'm putting in money or that kitty that I've put for a period of time, if that has moved up, then I've made money. So I'm not going to go nitpicking on, this stock didn't do it or that stock, because overall, if I'm at like a 75-80% accuracy of what I'm getting, I think I'm doing very well in terms of, making money. So that's how I look at it, Akshay.
Well, thank you so much, Shruti. Really nice of you to come and share your thinking and your experience with us. So, guys, personal experiences are important because there is no, I truly believe that there is no substitute for a personal understanding of what is happening and what you're doing. There is no professional who can guide you. There is no professional who can tell you, this is not oncology or something, I have cancer, I need to go to a cancer specialist. Investments is something that everybody can and should understand. And therefore, I like inviting people, sorry, because they all use it in a different way. And it is very interesting for me to understand how people use InvestorAI and how they learn about what they do. So let me tell you how I think of good stocks. Shruti made a very good point that she looks at a kitty, has the kitty gone up? So she does not look at relative returns. That's what I heard her say. She's looking at absolute returns. And I think that is quite important. The way I look at these things, I need 3 things to happen. Firstly, the stock should have good fundamentals. And there's a whole fundamental section within InvestorAI that you can use it, but you can use many sites to look at fundamental factors. Yeah, you can go to Money Control, you can go to ET, you can go to Yahoo, etc., and they will tell you fundamentals. But second thing that you must have is develop a good understanding of the company, or if not the company, at least the sector. Because you must understand what this company does, what is the environment in which it operates, and what it does. And the third thing is timing. Okay, it may be a great company, but right now may not be the best time to buy. And what that means for me is that when the three things intersect, then for me it's a go for it kind of a signal. There's no reason not to make an investment. So I look for intersections of good fundamentals where I understand the company, and good timing in terms of the price and the time to buy. And in all these things, InvestorAI can help you. Let us see how it works. So, it's very basic 5-point step, 5 points of investment. Find good companies, get comfortable with what they do, wait for the right time, buy at the right time, wait for the right time, and then sell. And InvestorAI can help you in many ways. Before I go further, I just want to go back to my favorite 2 slides, that your judgment is the most important thing. If you don't have a view on the company, if you don't have a view on the sector, don't invest. That is my sincere advice to you. You must understand. So for me, it is a combination of man plus machine, you plus AI, raised to the power of T, which is time. And that is an extraordinary superpower which can enable you to do many, many things. And some of you have heard me talk about numeric examples of how this can work. But just to remind you, you is about knowledge and discipline, your knowledge and your discipline. AI is about improving your batting average by showing you the right time, giving you the right signals, giving you the right information. And that's where InvestorAI comes in. And T is just about doing it consistently. And many of you are in your 20s or 30s or even 40s. You have at least 30, 40, 50, 60 years ahead of you. If you start investing now, the compounding effect is enormous. So please don't ignore the point that you don't have to make extraordinary returns. You just have to make it regularly over a long period of time. So I want to talk about 3 most powerful predictive algos. And I think they're some of the most powerful predictive algos in the world, because I've been looking at lots of companies in America, in Europe, in Asia, etc. The 3 algos that I want to highlight are value investing, which basically finds good but undervalued stocks. The second algo that you may be familiar with is Alpha 330. And as the name might suggest, it targets a 3% return in 30 days. So it looks for stocks that have a high probability of delivering that. And thirdly, it's swing trades. This is a very short-term algo, 3 days in duration. And the signals you will see are generated 3 days duration. So if it comes in on a Monday, it will expire on a Wednesday. And that's what you get to see. And it targets a 2% return in 3 days. All these 3 are high alpha algos that operate at, frankly, amazing levels of accuracy. And I will show this to you in the app as soon as I get to the app. But very broadly, value investing, when you open the screen, you'll see a pop-up, which basically tells you what are you looking at, how does the algo work. It will show you the 12 most recent algos. The red color has, by the way, some of you are familiar with the app, the logic between red and white has changed. Whenever the tile is red, it means the signal is active. If the tile is white, that means the signal is inactive. Okay. Again, there's nothing wrong with an inactive signal. But I will explain it to you in due course. But red means the signal is active. In the old logic that we had, red meant that you had not seen the insight. If you clicked on it, then the tile turned white. Now, if you click on it, the tile will not turn white. It will stay red because the signal is active. There are many, what am I doing? Yeah, there are many, you can press on more at the bottom and see more insights. There are a ton of insights in the system, especially when you go to Alpha 330. If you open all markets, you can have 500 insights. So ability to filter and sort becomes very important. So we've given you a filter and sort mechanism. You can just drop down and you can decide what you want. Finally, you will see the algo accuracy. Value investing, for instance, this is a week old, was running at 87%. And it's telling you it had generated 193 insights across all markets. And if you had bought every one of them and held them for 90 days, you would have made almost a 15% return, which if you multiply by 4 to annualize is an extraordinary return on your investment. So this is broadly how value investing works, and I will show it to you when I get to the app. If you look at Alpha 330, again, a very similar sort of logic and flow. The quick explanation of what you see, the 12 algos on your screen, and you can always see more. There is no constraint. You can see as many as there are. You can sort and filter, and again, you can look at accuracy. And here, of course, the accuracy is a little different. It's 74%. It's 657 insights in 30 days. This is a very, very productive algo. But even then, out of 4,500 stocks that we cover, it is, again, a small fraction. And the returns are, again, pretty fantastic, 5%, 5.2% in a month. So, and swing, again, you will see a similar kind of thing on swing. The screens are a little different because the algo is telling you a little different things. So it shows you a good time to buy or sell. Swing is the only algo we have which will give you long ideas as well as short ideas. We don't give you short ideas anywhere else. It is only available in India. So we have not activated swing for US markets or UK markets. It's only for India at the moment. And then it will show you open ideas, the date that the idea came in, what is the expiry of the idea, what is the price target, whether it's a long or a short algo, and since it was generated, how it has done. And you can look at closed ideas as well to get an idea, to get some indication of how the insights have moved in the last 1 or 2 weeks. So you can scroll down and see lots of closed ideas. Okay, so these are the 3 algos that I wanted to highlight. Now, machine learning models, what am I doing? Yeah. So how do the algos work? And we use some of the best data sources in the world. They're also very, very expensive. We then analyze over 900 pieces of data. Sorry, the 9 is missing here. Both technical and fundamental, for every single security stock that we cover in every market, every day. We perform like 800 million calculations every single day to produce some of these insights. So it's a very robust and a very battle-tested. We've been doing this for 2.5 years. So this is not something that came up 3 months ago. This is very, very robust and very sort of pakka sort of system. And what these algos do, whether it's Alpha 330, whether it's value investing, they identify potential breakout ideas with the highest level of accuracy that we can manage. Now, let me talk a little bit about accuracy. Now, accuracy depends on how well we have tuned the algo to current market conditions. Now, market conditions, as you know, keep changing. So we keep tuning the algo all the time. And, and that's something that is quite unique about us. We don't set up the algo and let it run and then see what happens. We actually watch it very regularly, and from time to time, either when market conditions move or we just have, or a certain period of time, we go in and retune the algo to maintain the high levels of accuracy. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about, how you can use InvestorAI to find good stocks. I will get into the app, and then we'll play around with it a little bit that you will see. I just want to underscore some of the new things that we have launched in the last 2 weeks. You'll have seen a new homepage. There is a very interesting profit and loss alerts that you can set under the preferences section. So you can set a default profit alert and a default loss alert for all the stocks that you want to monitor. And of course, you can change it stock by stock as well, but in preferences, you can just set up the default thing. We have changed the notifications page, so your profit and loss alerts will be shown to you in the notification section. The notification is the bell icon on top banner towards the right-hand side. If you click on that, it generally has a number on it, and that number shows you the number of notifications that you have not read as yet. If you click on that, then you will know what I mean. We've added a section on configuration, and a number of people came to us and said that, look, there's so much complexity here. I don't really want to look at everything. I'm an occasional investor. So we said, fine, you configure your view for an occasional investor, which is what we call investor view. Then you will only see the algos that are relevant for you. If you are a more regular trader, you can set up a trader view, and then you will see some more algos, but not everything. Or you can do the expert view, then you just see everything. It's just convenience. You will see a new active monitoring section. This is very, very useful because now your profit alert and loss alert will show there. In addition, it shows you any live insights today or any previous insights on the stock. And finally, we have added a section called similar stocks. So if you're monitoring Reliance or Adani or something like that, or the big names, if there are any similar stocks that have a signal on them, you will see them under active monitoring. So active monitoring has become really, really very valuable for lots of people. And finally, the logic for tile colors. Just remember, guys, red will now not change to white like it used to. If you click on red, it means the signal is active. If the tile is white, signal is not active. Not active only means it's not active today. It could be active tomorrow because prices change, and so signals move up and down. So it just shows you current status on the signal. So finally, I talked to you about an invitation-only event, and I want to highlight this. We are coming up with a brand new service which we call FTM portfolios. FTM stands for Follow the Machine. The notion is, and in fact, the idea came from some of you, all of you. Many people came to us and said, "Why can't you help us create a portfolio?" And initially we said, no, we're not a PMS manager. We're not really a money manager. But we said, why not? Why can't we take some of our best signals from Alpha 330 and publish them in form of a portfolio and make it available for anyone to buy? So it's think of it as a copy portfolio. We're not managing your money. We're not giving you advice. We're not asset managers. We're not mutual fund managers. But we are creating a portfolio for you that is extraordinarily high alpha. We have been running it live for almost 3 months now. We have not made it public. We're just running it live internally. And the results are nothing short of spectacular. I would love to tell you more about it. We are arranging a special webinar on Thursday, 15th of July at 7:30 p.m. This is only for our subscribers because we think they deserve a preview, and not just a preview, but some preferential things there. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. We would love to see you at this webinar. And, and then I think you'd find it really, really, really interesting. The people I've shown it to you are pretty stunned. I think it's a great sort of thing. Now let me get into the app, and I'll stop sharing this, and I will share my screen. And then you will see the app itself, and then I will highlight some of the things that I was talking about earlier. Okay, so let me go in there. So now we're in Investor AI. This is the new homepage. And again, for those of you who are looking at it for the first time or your early users, there is a getting started video that you can watch. There is a profile section that tells you how you have used the app. By the way, keep watching this profile section. We have a ton of new things to add there. We're starting it very simply, only your usage. But over time, remember the app is learning about you, and we will be able to show you many things that will be super interesting to you, but not interesting to anybody else. So we will get very, very sharp there. Wisdom of crowds is what other people are looking at. We showed you most viewed insights by market, by Algo. We show you latest insights, again, by market and by Algo. We show you the best performer by Algo, by market, and so on and so forth. And this is really quite fun at what other people are seeing. There is a watch list. This is my active monitoring list. The red tiles indicate that there is a live signal on them. The gray tiles indicate that there is no live signal on them. So that's my list. I will go into it a little later, and then there is explore, and then finally there is configure that I spoke about. The one thing I will tell you, it's a handy little thing. You see 3 dots on the right. If you click on them, it opens a move position, and then you can sort of change the sequence of how you can move this how you want. Okay, so you can customize the screen to suit your requirements. Remember, if you haven't set up your preferences, set up your markets. In my case, I have activated India and UK. That's fine, and you have to choose your sectors. If you don't choose a sector, you will never ever see any signal in that sector. So you have to activate a sector if you are interested in it. If you can activate everything, but then you'll get a whole lot. So if I go to Ideas Corner, we talked about value investing. So let's start with value investing. This is the first screen, and now you can see the active signals and the inactive signals. So let me sort by gainers, and let me sort by the latest. So these are some of the signals that have come up. These are ones that have made money. So let's pick Industrials LT. I don't know who this is. This is LNT, of course. How could I not guess? So LNT, this is very interesting now. LNT currently trading at 14.99, yesterday's close, and relative valuation is on the 6th percentile. So this is a really undervalued stock. The sector rank, I'll come to the sector rank in a moment. Now, the signal was generated on the 31st of May. Price has gone up a little bit since then, but it still remains undervalued. So signal was triggered when LNT was trading on the 3rd percentile, and now it's on the 6th percentile. And this is how the prices have moved, the relative prices. So this tells me that this is an undervalued stock. It's already made 2.2%, but I think LNT should be valued higher. So I go to the sector rank. Is it a good company? Now, what this is telling me that overall rank is 45th compared to the peers, so 45th percentile. And if I look at the components of the rank, LNT, analysts really, really like LNT. So 73rd percentile, high. The relative valuation is attractive because it's cheaper, but people seem to be concerned about capital structure, that it may have too much debt or too much leverage or ability to service interest, those kind of things. Now, you get two kinds of investors. Some don't really care about capital structure. They say, yeah, capital structure is fine. Banks will take care of it. It doesn't really affect company performance. Some people are very worried about capital structure. So that's, again, entirely up to you. If you want to do more research, there is a live info button at the bottom. You can go there, and then you're in Google Finance, and then you can read all the news and anything to do with the LNT stock price. You're in the app, so you can come back, and of course, you can always share. On WhatsApp, you can send it on mail, you can send it on text, etc., etc. Now, there is a back testing section. So has this happened before? So L&T has gone below the 20th percentile in the 4 times in the last 2 years. And, it bounces back, but it doesn't bounce back very, very quickly. So if I really wanted to make money in the short run, maybe this is not the best stock for me. Okay. But if I liked L&T and I wanted to hold L&T as a long-term hold in my portfolio, then buying it on the 6th percentile is actually a very good deal. So that's how value investing works. Let me go to Alpha 330. Alpha 330 is a more shorter-term algo, and again, I will sort it in order of gainers and returns. And now let's see, these are slightly older ideas, so where the signal is not active anymore. But let's take Tata LXC. So this signal was generated on 11th of June. We keep the signal open for 30 days, so it's got 2 more days to go, 28 days old, and the company has done 14%. This is a handsome return. So I wish I had come across this and bought it. This is signal history, how it has done in the past, and this is how the signal has moved in the last 30 days. So again, very similar concepts, but slightly, differently presented because it's a different algo. It shows you similar stocks, so it tells you there are 3 similar stocks to this company, and these are the signals that exist. This is when the signal was generated. There's another one called Root Mobile that has done even better, signal from 10th of June. So it's probably got just 1 more day to go. Today is the last day, but it's done 20%. So Alpha 330 can generate huge returns for you. And again, anytime you want to look at the accuracy, you press on the bullseye button on the top, and it tells me that this algo is running at 77% accuracy today, 552 insights, and 6.1% return average if you had bought every single insight, which of course is not. Nobody does that. But it's a good way of measuring in a consistent way. Lastly, let me go to Swing. And again, Swing will show me only India stocks. So this is telling me there is only 1 active insight at the moment. It covers 126 stocks. So remember, Swing only covers the stocks that are listed in the F&O market in India, because otherwise we can't do short signals. So we have only 1 idea. Let's see what it is. It's Tata Motors. It's a long idea, and it was generated on 8th of July. It's valid till the 12th. Price has fallen since it was generated. So maybe, if you think Tata Motors is a good company, this may be a good time to buy. Let me come out of this. I want to show you active monitoring. So when you press on monitor at the bottom bar, it will take you to active monitoring. I can say, okay, I want to track Barclays. And now I can set my profit and loss limit. So I don't want to set any default. I can say set it now. And by the way, if I come out of it, if I go to preferences, like I said, I can go to active monitoring. And now it tells me that my loss alert default limit is 1.5% and profit alert is 3%. So I'm saying, fine, set it as default. That's okay. And as you saw with the case of Barclays, you can set it stock by stock. So let me just pick one. I will pick Infosys. I've been tracking this for a while, and since I have been tracking 14th of May, the price has gone up. There is one live insight at the moment, which is in quarterly results. There is a previous insight on the stock on Alpha 330, and there is one similar stock, OFSS. I don't know who OFSS is. It's Oracle Financial Services. Okay. So Oracle Financial Services also in the IT sector. This is a value investing insight generated on the 17th of May, and it has already given me 12%. Now, one interesting feature here is you will see a shopping cart on the bottom left. If you click on that, then you can immediately buy this stock by going directly to your broker account. And if you have a brokerage account with any one of these 9 or these two, which is Edelweiss and Alles Blue. We are connected to them, and you can go and make the trade without leaving InvestorAI. So, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to take questions because it's a good time to start with questions.
Akshay, we have so many questions today, so it's great. But I'm going to actually start with Manjunath, who has a suggestion, as well as he had a great input as well. So Manjunath says he's seen the market and he's seen a lot of apps, but he really thinks what we give in terms of insights, especially on swing trades, he thinks it's great. So that's something Manjunath said. However, he's also given us a suggestion, and I know Sarthak, you have commented on that, but I'd just like to bring that up again. So he says swing should not be restricted to 3 days. If there is an ability to stretch it to 4 or 5 if needed. For example, recently Havells jumped 4% the next day, and of the 3 days ended. Just a sincere suggestion.
Yeah, let me take that. And Manjunath, you're very spot on Havells. So you see, what happens is, typically when, the industry speaks about swing, it is on the very shorter term, 3 days. So we had gone with the technicality of the definition. But really, if you look at it, a lot of swing ideas actually mature in the first day, or actually 50 to 60% are in the very first day itself. But having said that, what we have also started realizing that longer period, 4 or 5 days, since we are at almost the flag end of a, elongated bull market, the cycles have become a little longer in a sense for swing to play out. So we are evaluating it. Swing is again up for retune. So what's that space? So you might have your suggestion, incorporate, quite honestly.
Thanks, Arthur. A couple of ones around when to enter and when to exit. So Sam has asked, what's that percentile, especially in value investing? But SSR also says, do you put a stop loss when buy stocks using Alpha 330, or to hold for 30 days and then to sell?
Okay, so you can cut this in two different ways. The very first way is, remember, you're in a momentum strategy, so it's always recommended to use a broader range and do not have very strict stop losses near the price, because then you have one market move and your stop loss gets triggered. So, and again, when you're looking at Alpha 330, a lot of people ask this question on every webinar. See, when anything gets triggered as an Alpha 330, it is the next 30 days potential to achieve that 3%. Signals will become inactive because, obviously market cycles change, and, there are other stocks that are competing for that high signal spot. So do not be afraid. And most times, if you ask me, I hold till the 30 days are over, because we often see a lot of companies peaking around 15th or the 16th day as well, right?
So let me just add a little bit to that, Sarthak. You're right. A lot of people, the signal is a 30-day signal. So when it is triggered, what it is telling you that this stock has the propensity to deliver 3% in the next 30 days. Now, it doesn't mean the signal has to stay active for 30 days. When it was generated, it is generated for the next 30 days. So as Sarthak very correctly points out, don't worry about signal going up and down. We're just telling you what is happening. Now, you can hold for 30 days. A lot of people do that. Me personally, if I'm making 3, 4, 5%, I'm ready to exit. I'm not waiting for the 30% blowout stock, because wo to nahi milta. So I'm a little more conservative, but do what you want. But like I keep saying, it is your judgment and your decision making that is so, so important. Sorry, Sarthak, I interrupted. You were talking. Were you going to talk about swing a little bit? Because I can see Vivek has a question.
There are many questions on swing. I was coming to Vivek. Go ahead.
So Vivek, you ask about Tata Steel. Yes, the thing is, if you really look at the signals in swing, it has been favoring a lot of steel manufacturers, SAIL, Tata Steel. And if you correlate that with LME ore prices, they peaked last week. So every, ore steel company is doing well. The thing is, we had a broad-based market sell-off on the last session. and anything that had run up started correcting. So, but having said that, it is not necessarily a problem, because if oil prices continue to go up, Tata Steel will still do well. And also, if we take the suggestion like Havel speak on day 4, there's a very good chance it might do that as well. So do not worry. Everything is fine. It's nothing to worry about per se.
I'd like to take...
Just leading off from something that Sarthak said. It's all, sometimes, it's not the stock that is moving, it's the sector that is moving sometimes. And which means every stock in the sector will show a signal at around the same time. That happens. And if so don't get hung up on one stock. That is why we show you similar stocks. So if on similar stocks, if you see, 15 similar stocks, chances are the sector is moving. Now, if the sector is moving, then then it may be worth getting in, and you may easily be able to diversify your risk by buying more than one stock in the sector. And because, this is the strategy Tiger Global employs for private equity firms, private investments they make. They say, look, we think payments as an industry is going to go up, so we'll put $2 billion in payments. And never mind which company, some companies, but as long as the sector is going up. So you can take a sector bet equally well as a stock bet. And if you're into the sector, then I would urge you to do what Shruti does, is go to play and compare different companies in the sector and buy the 2 or 3 best ones that make sense to you. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, so Akshay, actually, what you said is, I'm just thinking, I never realized that every time I went to similar stocks, obviously, if there were more sitting there, in terms of number of insights, that's such a way to think about, okay, so that's a good one, thanks. I never realized that. So I need to do that now. Akshay, there's one question from an Akshay, who's over here. And this is about, do we need to check fundamentals of stocks even while swing trading?
If you don't mind, let me take that. See, swing is a very short-term algo, and it's right around 70-72% of the times. And again, for a 3-day algo, that's amazing in our minds, right? But having said that, fundamentals for 3 days doesn't really act as a big indicator, but it acts as a barometer. Because see, if you want to swing trade and you're a risk-averse investor, it's always advisable to look at the fundamentals of the company, because if the swing trade doesn't work, if you're in that 20% of the signals that do not work or fail, then you're okay holding it, right? So it acts as a barometer, but not as an active driver.
Yeah, Sarthak, I have a slightly different point of view. I wouldn't bother with swing, with fundamentals in a swing trade. Look at GameStop. The fundamentals are basically shit. Okay, there were no fundamentals. Companies going nowhere in a hurry. Okay, but the stock went up like thousands of times in a very short period. Because the point is, fundamentals don't change day to day. Okay, fundamentals are published only, at least, most frequent is monthly, mostly quarterly. So by the time your fundamentals get updated, it's slightly dated anyway. So in a 3-day context, I'm not sure how much difference fundamentals make. But swing is more about momentum. So that's my personal view. Sarthak has a different view, and the reason I'm highlighting these different views is because all investors have different views. And you should use, and you should respect that difference. You should develop your own sense of conviction. That is what will make you a better investor, rather than, following what somebody else is telling you to do.
Okay, we've had, some people, some of our subscribers here, and of course, some who are not, who actually have asked us about this exclusive session. Akshay, they're saying, how do I get the link to that session? So for all subscribers who are here, and we have many here today, you will get an email, you will get it on WhatsApp, and of course, on the premium exclusive group that you're on with us, you will get it there, because we're trying to ensure that it's, you click in and you're a subscriber and you get it.
Actually, one point I want to make about this exclusive webinar. First of all, please come. I'm really keen to have as many people as possible. So, look, if you don't want to put a long-term subscription, just take the monthly one. Think of 800 rupees, 799 rupees. That's cost of the webinar. Never mind. So, but I really want you there because the product we are talking about is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. That's one. That we will go through the product in detail. Secondly, and more importantly, I want people to ask questions and make it a very participative thing as normal Zoom rather than a webinar format where you have to post questions on chat and things like that. So I want to make it much more interactive and personal because, we won't have 100 people. It'll be, I hope we have 100 people, but I don't expect that. And because it's a smaller forum, we will be able to answer questions, very, very individual questions, very personal questions, and you will understand the product much, much better. And when we release it, this is really, you'll see the numbers, and I hope you'll be convinced for yourself that it's absolutely fantastic thing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing as many people as possible.
Ram, we will reach out to you. He has a question on paying up for the subscription, Akshay, and we'll reach out to him. You can also write to support@bridgeweave.com, but Ram, we will reach out to you to help you with your query. Just a comment before we kind of close, Akshay. We have a message from Shilpa Chengappa. She says that after having gone through the Alpha 330 and Play, it's a big game changer. This app is what is going to revolutionize people's investing behavior. I think she pretty much got what we are attempting to do. So, yeah.
You want to come and work for us? We would love to have people like you.
And on that note, but she's a subscriber, and hope to see you at that session because if you're talking about revolutionizing, I think what we're going to talk to you on Thursday is really what you should be, you're going to be amazed with. I'm just going to very quickly just put up our details on about the plans, Akshay, and then we'll just close today. Prabs, in the meantime, if you want to get our how did the webinar go question up, that's also fine while I talk through this. So we have an India plan, which we call Domestic Pro, and a global plan. So on the India plan, you get India with all Algo, access to all of our Algos. We have a fantastic discount running at the moment. And everyone, please note, we have said this now for the number of weeks that we've been coming in. This is not going to keep happening. You are people who are going to have access to this discount only for now. After that, we're just going to be whatever the market price is. So make the most of what you have at the moment. The quarterly plan is at 1955 and the annual plan is at 7565. And this is of course for the India plan. And I'm talking to you right now only about that. Watch out for a lot of action about us on our social media channels, and YouTube has all of our videos of the webinars, and a lot of our help videos are also up there for you to understand the app. And we really look forward to seeing all of you on Thursday at 7:30 on 15 July. That's really what we want to say. As I don't even want to say next week on Saturday. We hope to see all of you on Thursday. So bye from all of us at the InvestorAi Academy. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good weekend.